Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you're joining us from. Thanks for joining us today for an exciting launch webinar. We're here today to launch TODO 2 tank units. So this is the new TODO-matic replacement tank unit. Very excited to share the information that we've got to share today. I hope you'll find it very interesting, excited as we are to see this new product. The first new product from TODO in quite some time, so it's really good news for the market. I am Sam Blackmore. I am the Global Product Manager for Fuel Systems EMCO Wheaton. Within EMCO Wheaton, that's the tank truck equipment, the fleet fueling systems, and of course, last but not least, the TODO brand of dry brake couplings and brakeways, etc. On the line with me today, I've got my colleague Edward Petkin and Daniel Lewington, Edward from sales and Dan from engineering, our engineering manager. They're here in the background to help me with some Q&A. So please use the Q&A box as we go through the session today to ask any questions. They'll be able to help you as the call goes on. I will be having a separate QA session at the back end of the presentation so I can answer any questions verbally and go back through any questions that might be of interest to the wider audience. So, okay, so feel free to ask questions throughout. So yeah, we're here today to talk about the TODO 2 tank units. I've got the product here with me now. It's ready to go, tested, certified, and ready to take your orders. So welcome. Let's get started on the presentation. So we consider this product the next generation of TODO. This is going to, like I say, replace our TODO-matic tank units. Eventually, there will be a phase-out process, heavily dependent on the demand, obviously. Obviously, we can speak about that based on individual needs as we launch. So just an introduction to the new range. I think the key thing to communicate here is that we've listened to you. We've listened to your concerns, your ideas and your improvement suggestions throughout the market. And we think we've come up with a really market-leading product in terms of fit, form and function. So just to go through some of the features on an introductory level, then in the subsequent slides, we'll go through them in more detail. The first one at the top, we've reduced our pressure drop in up to 32% reduction in some sizes. Proven through testing, we can discharge 500 litres via gravity in 32% less time. I'll show you the details on that in a further slide. We've reduced the service time, so we've designed this product with service in mind. You can see there on the screen, we show you there the internals of the new product, fairly modular in design. So there are no design variances between materials, whereas you might experience at the moment with the TODO-matic tank units, the aluminium and stainless are very different in design in terms of the internal structure. That is no longer the case, so aluminium and stainless steel variants will appear very similar. Weight reduction, we've reduced up to 33% in weight across the range, which is a great improvement, obviously, in terms of installing the unit on the tanks. We've upgraded our certification. We've now got Transportable Pressure Equipment Directive certification with this product on top of Pressure Equipment Directive. So we've got TPED and PED. Now, TPED, I'll go through in more detail on the next slide. And the last but not least, we've got intelligent part numbering, just to help everyone understand what product it is that you're ordering, inquiring about, and the details of the product. So materials, O-ring grades, connection types and things like that. So we're going through that in more detail as well. Importantly to note, we've carried over obviously the sizes that we currently offer. So 1 inch, 2 inch, 2.5 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch and 6 inch. But we are not going to release a brass TODO 2 tank unit as of now. We will continue to service the market with the existing TODO-matic brass unit. The reason behind that is because of fluctuating demand on the brass products across the globe. So we will continue to service the market with the existing TODO-matic tank unit in brass, but not on TODO 2 for now. If that demand does pick up, based on application or based on pricing or global issues, we have the design for the brass unit, so that it won't be starting from scratch, just to bear that in mind. So going through the new features and benefits in more detail, as I said, we've reduced our service time on this unit completely, up to 50% reduction in downtime when you need to reservice this product. 3 simple steps with this one. What you do is you compress the piston and enter a 3D printed retainer clip, which we print here in Margate. That secures the assembly as one modular piece. You can then remove the retainer clip that's retaining the piston assembly in place. Second step is to remove that internal assembly as a module and replace the O-ring. Pretty simple. And last but not least, refit that internal assembly into the body, remove the 3D printed clip and insert a new lock ring. Done. It takes about 5 minutes. It's fantastic. As I mentioned, we've upgraded our certification. We've got TPED, Transportable Pressure Equipment Directive, on top of PED and compliance with ATEX, of course. Now, TPED, what that actually means is that obviously for Transportable Pressure Equipment Directive, that is for items that are going to be transported. So obviously tank units are very often fitted to rail cars or road tankers, things that are transported. TPED, the certification means that this product is now certified to be transported under pressure in the pressurized state. So whereas PED looks after the static state, TPED looks after the product in terms of the moving state. So this is now certified to be under pressure in the transported state, which also means that we are able to put a pi mark on our labels. That little symbol there will be printed on our ID labels for all these new tank units going forward. We've reduced the weight up to 33% reduction in weight. So obviously easier installation when you receive this product, fitting it onto your tanks. But we've not done it to the detriment of wall thickness. So we've maintained the 5:1 safety factor that you would expect from a TODO product, and we've not reduced the wall thickness to remove weight, importantly. Last but not least, on this slide, we've reduced the pressure drop substantially. We've reduced the flow turbulence through the piston design. So instead of having a 2-piece piston design, it's now a 1-piece. The retainer and the piston are designed to fit together as almost as one in the connected state. So when the flow is going past the retainer and the piston, the design is such that there are very few flow disturbances, which obviously means lower pressure drop and high flow. We did this through computer simulation flow in the design of the components, and we've done some physical testing here in Margate to make sure that we have the best in class results. Just a couple of pictures of the new product there on the slide too. In terms of functionality, and this really covers the basics of a dry brake valve as you would expect. So there's a dry brake coupling, so you can expect virtually 0 spill on disconnect, obviously dependent on the size. It's beneath 1 cc across the range, the spill on disconnects. STANAG 3756 compliant, as you would expect, so cost compatible with other brands. Quick and simple connection, so we've maintained that push and twist operation to connect and simultaneously start the flow. As we all know, TODO is a tried and trusted brand, one of the pioneers of this product in the market and still the brand leader. We've maintained a safety factor of 5:1, as I mentioned. We've got 0 containment leakage under pressure, so there are no leaks under pressure, backed up by our TPED and PED certification. And we're approved by world-leading standards bodies. It's important to note that all of our European certification is now under European certified bodies. So there's no issues with our certification because of Brexit. It's all being handled by a European safety body. So like I say, there is no issues with the whole Brexit situation with our CE marking. And obviously moving forward for UK customers, we'll have some UK CA marking for the 2022 period, as that will be needed in the UK. Just to demonstrate again, for those that may not have used TODO products before, the left-hand side image is in the closed position. On the left-hand side, you've got a wireframe image of the hose unit. And on the right-hand side of that left image, the tank unit, both in the closed position. Obviously, to open this connection, you push the hose unit on, twist it. The piston in the hose unit compresses the spring and piston in the tank unit, and that ultimately opens the connection and simultaneously starts the flow. So moving on to some technical data, here's our test data for the flow rates. There's two charts to draw your attention to. The first one is TODO 2 tank unit coupled with TODO-matic hose unit, so the existing hose unit design with the new tank unit design. And the second scenario is existing TODO-matic tank unit and existing TODO-matic hose unit. So we've got two results. We've got 1,000 litres to 500 litres drain. So essentially what we've done is connected our tank unit and hose unit to a large reservoir of 1,000 litres capacity, opened the valve and allowed it to drain. So we timed 1,000 litres to 500 litres and 1,000 litres to full drain, so completely empty. You can see there the results per size, 1 inch, 2 inch, 2.5, 3, 4 and 6. On the left-hand table, table number 1, you can see the physical timed measurements. So 12 minutes 50 to drain the 1 inch on TODO 2 tank unit and TODO-matic hose unit, whereas TODO-matic pairs, so the existing coupler and tank unit, 18 minutes. So quite a drastic reduction in time to drain from 1,000 litres to 500 litres. And you can see there a major reduction, almost half an hour from a full 1,000 litre drain. To put it into perspective, in actual time reduction and percentage improvement, you can see on table 2, per size again, the time reduction in minutes and seconds and the percentage improvement. Interestingly, you can see that the major improvements have been done on the smaller sizes. Perhaps you could have been expecting some major improvements on the larger sizes, but it just goes to show that even our existing product has got some excellent flow rates and pressure drops in the larger sizes. So 6 inch, we would say that the test results were comparable with the current product, so maintaining excellent performance. A 3% improvement on the 4 inch, so even better in performance that we currently exhibit. But real change and progress on the 1 inch and 2 inch, 6 minutes nearly time reduction on the 500 litre drain. Just over 2 minutes on the 2 inch, so 32% improvement on that flow rate, which I think is excellent considering the size of the product. Here, I'm just going to show you here some of the overall weights, lengths and widest diameters of the product, just to give you an idea of the dimensional changes, feature changes of these products. We've just used aluminium and stainless steel MPT connections to keep it under control. You can see here, obviously, TODO-matic versus TODO 2, based on weight, length and widest diameter. Mostly improvements over the range. You can see on the 2 inch stainless steel MPT, a reduction of 0.6 kilograms, 2.5 inch aluminium, 0.5 kilograms. So some good weight reductions there. You can see where some of the weight reductions has come from in the overall length. Some reduction in length across the board, really. 2.5 inch been reduced by over 30 millimeters. Slight increase on the 4 inch. That's probably, well, not probably, is because of the increase on pressure drop. So the internal design has meant that we've had to increase the overall length by 1 millimeter, but ultimately not a major difference. So some more technical data on the intelligent part numbering structure I mentioned. We now are having intelligent part numbers with the top level part numbers. So here is an example just to show you how this is now going to be laid out. So I've broken it into sections. You've got TT at the front, which is TODO tank unit, followed by your size. So for an example is 2, which means 2 inch. Then the 2 characters following that are your connection, so your thread or flange. 00 in this case being BSB, and that connection is a sequential number moving up through. So for example, we've got 00 BSP female, 02 MPT female, all the way up to around 50 to cope with all those different flange types. So you've got, for example, PN 1016 type B, type C, type D. Each one of those has got a sequential number to go in that connection field. And then at the back end, we've maintained the sense from the existing part number structure. So 4407 being stainless steel outer material, inner material stainless, and the 2 last characters being the O-ring grade, which in this case, 07 being Viton. Some more examples there. The example at the top is obviously the example we're showing in the breakdown. TT200-4407, 2 inch BSP female, stainless steel Viton O-ring. TT302-1107, a 3-inch female MPT aluminium unit with Viton O-rings. And last but not least, TT426-1107, a 4-inch PN1016 type A flange, aluminium and Viton O-rings. Hopefully that makes sense. We will be providing you with a breakdown of the part number structure as part of the sales and technical literature. So don't worry if this doesn't make sense quite yet. I'll also be providing our internal team and external customers, if required, a changeover sheet so we can reference your existing part number, and right next to it will be the new TODO 2 part number. So the switch over on part numbers will be hopefully very straightforward, and then moving forward, this should be more sensical. When you are looking at part numbers, you should hopefully know what it is you're ordering just by the part number. This is also carried over into our kits, aftermarket kits. So I haven't shown it here on the screen, but instead of having, for example, on the existing products, we've got a 1-R in front of the part number, purely for administrative sakes. We've reduced that variation in part numbers. So now we've got RTT1, so RTT being repair kit, TODO tank unit 1-inch, and then -07. So you'll have the same repair kit for a stainless as you would for a aluminium Viton unit. The only variation really coming in on BSP because there's that flat seal to ensure that the product seals onto the pipe. Certificates and standards, just to run over again the fact, obviously we've got the pressure equipment directive, as you would expect, the new transportable pressure equipment directive, upgraded certification for this product moving forward, compliance to ATEX, the TUV under test approval mark TU-AGG 16293 towards ADR RID and EN 14432, as that exists now on the existing TODO Matic tank unit. And obviously we are under the quality management systems of ISO 9001 and ISO 14001. My colleague Zander is now going to hit you with a poll. There's 8 questions on this poll. We'd really appreciate your feedback on this. It really helps us to understand your needs, your requirements, especially for this new product, and your interest. So we really would appreciate your feedback here. If you could just take a minute to answer these questions, I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. And that is the last slide of the presentation. So now we are moving into Q&A section, where I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. And please fire away any questions. Okay, got one question come through. What are the working pressures? So the working pressures are maintained as you would expect from the current TODO Matic tank units. The aluminium unit on 1-inch and 2-inch is 16 bar. Anything above that, so 2-inch and above on aluminium, is 10 bar, and that's limited by our pressure equipment directive. Stainless steel across the board is 25 bar working pressure. Okay, one more come in. What aftermarket kits are provided? So on tank units, we provide just the repair kits. On hose units, we provide seal and repair kits, but obviously with the tank unit, there's only one O-ring. So we don't provide seal kits on tank units, only repair kits. And as I mentioned, that part number structure is now intelligent. So it'll be RTT followed by the size, dash, followed by the O-ring grade. And that will get you the kit that you need. Another question come in. Will these also be available in exotic materials such as duplex, for example? This will be done on a case-by-case basis. As it stands now, the availability is on aluminium and stainless steel at time of launch, which is obviously today. Exotic materials, I'm not going to say no, because we can consider it, but it's not available today. We will look at it on a case-by-case basis. Have we tested the flow against the Stalbly? Yeah, it's on par with the Stalbly product, or the Roman Seliger product, or the Novaflex product, depending on where in the world you are. So yeah, we are on par with that. The next question being from the same person, when will the hose units be available? We're only here to talk about the tank units today. Obviously, we are looking at potentially upgrading our hose units, and you would expect the pressure drop to be even better because obviously we are using that as one of our key voice of customers for the entire product range for TODOmatic. So when those hose units come online, we'll obviously let you know, and you would expect even better flow performance, just relating to the previous question on the flow rates. How long are spare parts available for the previous version? So we're going to go with 10-year support on the aftermarket for the existing TODOmatic tank units, and that will just be in repair kit form. So any repair kits that you can buy now for TODOmatic will be available for 10 years. Is the cost the same as the standard TODOmatic tank unit? Yep, so pricing wise, we are going to market with the exact same pricing. There's no price increase for this new product, so you're getting brand new features, brand new, better performance of the tank units for no extra price. We believe that this generates good value for the brand of the product, something that we're quite proud of, but we are not going to charge anything more for it. We're going to maintain the pricing levels of the current TODOmatic tank units. So you should expect no price increases on this new product. Would it be suitable for PMDI products that have the tendency solidification? Good question. I'm not familiar with PMDI specifically, but we did do some testing with one of our UK customers on AdBlue, for example. One of the potential problems with AdBlue is that it crystallizes if it hits any flow restrictions or is allowed to sit for any length of time. We tested the existing TODOmatic tank unit and the TODO 2 tank unit. On the TODOmatic tank unit, there was some crystallization purely because of the flow restrictions, and this is on a 2-inch unit. The TODO 2 showed dramatically less crystallization, which is a great improvement. So just in reference to your question there on possible solidification, you would expect to see vastly improved performance on the TODO 2 tank units for sure. Is it possible to replace MCO tank units with the TODO 2? I'm assuming you mean the MCO dry brake coupler. The only size that is cross-compatible with the, two sizes, the MCO Eaton dry brake is the 2-inch and the 3-inch. The 1-inch is not cross-compatible purely because it's not part of the team agreement or the STANAG 3756 agreement. Is there marketing material available which references the features and benefits of the new tank units? Absolutely. There's a launch pack that should be available imminently. So there's a sales flyer, a technical document. There's a brand new TODO overview document. So it's not just TODO 2. It includes all of our products in there, but it includes TODO 2 tank units. So yeah, there will be information coming to you, and the local sales rep will be able to furnish you with that information. They already have that, so that we can reach out to you pretty quick. Will this be delivered with selectivity coding if needed? Absolutely. Yep. So if you can get selectivity on current TODOmatic tank unit, you can get it on the new TODO 2 as well. The system remains the same. It's obviously an industry-wide agreement, and we are still able to do that. So there's no question about that. When will orders in the US be able to be shipped, and how much will be stocked in the US? That is open for discussion based on the demand in the US. That's obviously heavily dependent on demand. We've done a lot of research on the US market and what are the biggest sellers, etc. And we are looking to keep stock in our Houston branch. The levels of that, obviously, I can't comment on now. That is ongoing. But obviously, we are looking to reduce the lead time as we can. Is there any future improvement on the hose unit? So as I say on the previous question about the hose units, there is some plans. I can't give you any dates, but it will be focused on flow as well as a lot of other things. So you will be able to see quite a big improvement on flow. Obviously, there's a big improvement already with the tank units, trying to keep focus on the tank units for now. You will see performance improvements of the tank units, even with the existing hose units. So please don't delay and wait for the hose units to place your orders for TODO 2 tank units, because you will see performance improvements. Is it available with keyed pattern option to avoid cross-contamination? Yep, that's the selectivity. So yeah, that it will be available, absolutely. Will this presentation be available on email? Yes, yeah, we can send that out to you, no problem at all. What will the lead time be for new units, and will the old units be phased out? So only the version 2 will be available. Yeah, so the plan is to obsolete the TODO-matic tank units. Our initial plans are to go size by size because it is heavily dependent on obviously our supply chain, orders we've already got in the system, and it's heavily dependent on size. So larger components take longer to arrive to us. So on the larger sizes, you'd expect a phase out to be a bit longer. But ultimately, yes, the TODO-matic tank unit will be phased out, and the TODO 2 tank unit will be the only tank unit that we sell. It's heavily demand dependent. So if we sell a lot of TODO-matic now, our stock levels drop and the TODO 2 becomes standard quicker. If the demand isn't as high, obviously the process will be slower. Are the prices higher with the new certification TPED? No, no. As I say, the price to market is exactly the same as the TODO-matic. There's no price increase at all for this new product. As I say, you get lots of new functionality, performance improvements, higher grades of certification, over and above most of our competition, for no extra cost. Will TODO-matic adapters and TODO-matic repair kits be phased out at the same time, or will TODO-matic repair kits be available for a longer time period? Yeah, so the repair kits will be available for a period of 10 years. TODO-matic adapters, so tank units, will be phased out based on demand. So we've obviously got stock levels of the existing products, we've got orders for the existing products, we've got supply chain in place for the existing product, and that will be heavily dependent on the demand of this new product and of the existing product. So it is heavily demand dependent. But repair kits will be available of the existing product for up to 10 years. Is there availability of CalRes 6375 or ChemRas 505? Yep, absolutely. So we're carrying over the O-ring grades that we currently offer. So anything you buy now, you can buy in TODO 2, absolutely. The new TODO 2 hose units, will they see a new part number change as well? Yep. So the TODO 2 hose units, when they materialize, will have exactly the same pretty much, but instead of TT, it will be TH. So we'll have the same intelligence, but instead of being TT, it will be TH. So for TODO hose unit. Okay, can't see any more questions coming in. Really appreciate your feedback on this and your questions. Happy to answer all of them. We've had 18 so far. That's great. Keep them coming. We've got a couple more minutes left for the session. Okay, there's no more questions coming through. As I say, there's about just over a minute and a half left for the planned session. So get your questions in now. If not, obviously, we're available after this call for any questions you've got. You can reach out to me personally. You can reach out to your local sales guys or any of our customer service team. And we'll obviously be happy to help. We're going to contact you with this technical and sales brochure information to furnish you with the details of that. So you can expect that anytime soon. One last question comes through. What will the frequency of O-ring replacement be in the new design? The same as our current guidance is that we would recommend at least once per year a repair kit for the product, but it's obviously heavily dependent on the application. So a more aggressive application such as sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid, you'd expect to see higher degradation on the components, on the wearable components, so on the O-rings, as being the major component for wear. You would expect to service that possibly every 6 months, but it would be based on your experience in the application. So the general guidance is once per year as it exists now, but on more aggressive applications, 6 months to a year, possibly even more frequently if you see higher degradation within that time period. Okay, well, thank you very much. That's the end of the call. Had 19 questions in the end, so that's great. Thank you so much. Thanks for your feedback on the polls as well. We really value that. We will be reaching out to you very soon, like I say, with the information that we've got to share. Pricing, obviously customer specific pricing will be shared with you by your local sales rep, and we'll be there to support you with any questions that you've got. And we look forward to working with you on this new product. We're very excited, and we hope you are too. So thanks very much for your time, and take care, stay safe, and we'll speak soon. Thank you very much.